Really not a lot of warning for folks that are within the path of this strong storm. So I would really be thrilled if you're watching us on TV right now, if you're in this area, get away from the windows, lowest level of your home. And then of course, you want to make sure you're turning up the television, not sitting directly in front of it, especially if it is near one of those sliding glass windows or doors. You want to go ahead and get in that safe spot now because this storm is already here, okay? We've got that tornado watch in effect today until 3 o'clock for this very reason. Those warnings pop very quickly. There's rotation in this storm. And in fact, I've been tracking this one with Robert for the last hour as it was out to the west, even near Highway 301. So that rotation has intensified, prompting that tornado warning now for Clay and St. Johns County. And I know, kind of interesting timing here as we were just giving you this update in First Coast Living, but this is exactly why, right? We've been wanting to warn folks about these warnings. That could pop up very quickly today. We've been talking about it since about 4:30 this morning, and really we knew for a week now that today was our storm day. We have very strong damaging wind gusts possible in this cell as well, up to 70 miles an hour. We've already seen evidence of that today with power lines down in Nassau County and also tree damage in Columbia County as early as 4:30 this morning. So this warning just until, let's see, the next less than 15 minutes here, okay? So some very strong reflectivity that goes ahead and tells me that it's likely rain wrapped. So there is nothing to see here, folks, as far as sticking your head out the window and storm tracking this for us. We have enough technology that we can tell you this is a strong storm. You want to go ahead and get away from those windows. So south of Green Cove, likely crossing over the river, just south of World Golf Village as well. And this is crossing over the river right now as we speak. So here's our velocity scan. You can see the inbound and the outbound winds. So this velocity, think of it as the storm wind motion. All right, so within the storm, we're seeing that bit of rotation here. And so the bright greens, almost blue colors, indicates the potential for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. But then when we have those red colors, that's the outbound. So that shows the rotation within that storm. Likely the worst of it just crossing over 17, headed over the river. This is going to be south of World Golf Village, but then it's also going to be approaching a very busy area.
Lauren, I'll just jump in
out
real
near 95. Robert Svetta's also mic'd up as well, so I think he's got some new info to pass along.
Well, just letting you know, this it's crossing towards World Golf Village. Just got a little update here, kind of tracking us along. And actually, I'm going to just drive this for you, if that's okay, Lauren.
That's perfect.
Just zoom right in on what we're talking about. So right now, as you mentioned, just starting to cross the river. There's your rotation here for you, for people at home. Lauren, I'm sure, is pointing it out for you. But yeah, we're going to grab where that center of rotation is and kind of shoot this off towards the, well, actually, let's put this on a loop. I want to make sure I got this.
So Robert's going to storm track it, and these storms are moving at, what, 50-plus miles an hour today, Sveta? So they're racing, I mean, as fast as you can go on the road. So really, it's not a time to try to outrun this storm. You want to make sure that you're already in that safe spot. Look at that as it heads toward, again, pretty busy spot out toward the outlets on St. Augustine area, just west of course, the historic district off of 95. And there's that storm track here. So Mount Pleasant Church, it's basically right there. Bethany Bible Church, Bakersville by 1140, 1145 for Adventure Landing. Again, this is south of Jacksonville. This is for Clay and St. Johns County to try to orient yourself. St. John's River State College at 1150 or so. So this is where the strongest part of the storm is, not necessarily where the rain is going to be falling, but where that strongest part of the storm is, why this is tornado warned. That's what Robert is timing it out for us right now. So thank you, Robert, for that. And really, I mean, kudos to the Weather Service. Of course, we've been watching this storm very closely, but you can see how in just the last few scans here on that velocity map, those reds are becoming brighter. So it has been tightening up. We had the potential for those strong damaging wind gusts with that strong Lauren, straight line wind gusts, but again, now we're starting to see more wind. I think we're now going to be joined by our ABC channel as well. So now we're on both channels right now simultaneously for this tornado warning for Clay and St. Johns counties until 11:45. Correlation coefficient is something that we look at to see storm debris inside of a cell, and that would be for anything that's being detected from radar that might be something other than raindrops or hail,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I kind of see it's very faint if there is anything in here. It could just be, dust being blown or water getting blown off of the river there. But if you go back and forth, there is something kind of getting picked up right in there on it. Just kind of interesting. And it goes back to the fact that, there's that rotation. There is that possibility of a tornado. Right now it is radar indicated. But, yeah, there is something right there on the CC scans there, Lauren.
Yeah, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that. Of course, if we start to see any blues, that's when it gets to be a little bit more concerning. But I would say either way, debris or not, Robert, I mean, these are some pretty strong wind gusts, and so we don't really like to, kind of discredit the fact that those straight line winds can do just as much damage sometimes.
Actually, let's go ahead and I'll just kind of go through here and plop a couple of these estimated based on radar estimated. I mean, that's 60 mile per hour winds right there. Just towards the south of that, let's see what we got right in here. That's indicating about 70. Now, this is a loft, but as you just pointed out, that's 70 mile per hour radar indicated winds. That is enough to sufficiently toss around lawn and furniture, down trees, power lines, all of those things that we're talking about here, Lauren.
Exactly. And so we're getting those strong inbound winds right now, not necessarily on the outbound side, but still there could be enough. We saw very similar conditions last week. And remember, we helped the Weather Service report that EF0 tornado in the Beacon Lake neighborhood of northern St. Johns County. So this is just south of where that damage happened last week. So Beacon Lake, you're actually in the clear right now. You could still have some very strong wind gusts, but this is south of World Golf Village. And in fact, Robert, I would say it's awfully close. That's a very large area to be tracking. So St. Johns County looks to be now the only county that's included in this warning. So if our producers want to update this warning has now been kind of scaled back because the worst of the weather has now crossed over the river and is out of Clay County. So this is just St. John's till 11:45. So we have less than 10 minutes left of this warning. Normally we have these warnings and they're out in the middle of nowhere, right? But this is a very busy part of town. It is the lunch hour, so hopefully folks are kind of just staying put, watching and waiting for the worst of this to blow on by. And actually we can see here, we've got 16 that turns into 13 out in St. Johns County, and this is State Road 16 right here, headed out toward 95. I would say really areas that are World Golf Village, south towards St. Augustine, toward the outlets, you're going to want to make sure that you are waiting this storm out right here. I do believe we have some other folks in the newsroom that might be more familiar with kind of the back roads out this way as well, if Lewis Turner's around.
I think one of the things, and you already pointed it out there a few times, if anybody's from this area, this is basically just west of where like the outlet malls. We're talking about 16 that runs into the north side of downtown St. Augustine here. So very wooded area, as you've also pointed out a few times. So this is racing along, moving about 50 to 60 miles per hour, definitely in a wooded area. Visibility is going to be reduced as well. But yeah, this is just moving north of the outlet malls here, just south of the World Golf Village in that area. So very wooded, very rural area. Just moving along here. Expecting to move past Mill Creek School here at 11:38. Adventure Landing at 11:44. That is right in the outlet mall region in there. And Casco at 11:49. Lauren?
Yeah, and so let's take a look at and show folks maybe the bigger picture again, because I know I've got the tornado watch in effect until 3 p.m. So this is, of course, for now St. Johns County, only included a little bit of Green Cove, south of Green Cove and Clay for a bit, but this has been scaled back for St. Johns County. There is a larger severe thunderstorm warning, and I don't really want to forget about folks that are in central and northern St. Johns County, because you could still be seeing some pretty darn gusty winds, the potential for damaging wind gusts as well in this particular warning. A lot of lightning strikes. That's one thing that Robert, Lou, and I were watching in the Weather Center was the increase in the lightning strikes. That usually means that that storm is intensifying. So we still have quite a bit of lightning on the northern edge of this system, but right here, all right, so you can see just south of where Green Cove is on the map, and then just skipping over to the east, World
Lauren, I'm
Golf
just gonna
Village there.
jump in
That's
real
where
quick.
we've got some of that rotation.
Looks like this tornado warning is going to be extended out to the coast. That it's
Okay.
including the St. Augustine Airport, Volano Beach area as well. So
Okay.
this is going to 11:45 a.m. That's about 5 more minutes, but it does look like they are going to be reissuing this out towards the
Yeah,
coast.
and that's no surprise, right? Because within
I mean-
5 minutes, this is going to be out of that polygon. There's still enough rotation in that to extend it. It's going to be racing off of the coast in the next probably 20 plus minutes or so. So this is a very fast moving storm. Remember, that's why we have these watches in place from the Storm Prediction Center, because the ingredients are there. And oftentimes those storms can kind of pop and start to rotate with the shear that we have in our environment rather quickly. And we're seeing that happen today. So this is on 95 mile marker 319 here. And you can see the roadways are wet. Traffic is flowing per usual. And hopefully folks are just taking it easy today, okay? And I would say really, if you can, it is the time to kind of just hang put. If you're in the Mill Creek area, the St. Augustine area, and then again, just like Robert mentioned, this is getting extended toward the coast in St. Johns County. This will likely include St. Augustine and then out toward Volano Beach. So
can I
now we
jump in
have our
here real quick as
correlation
well, Lauren?
coefficient here.
Yeah, okay, so we got the CC scan up here. Let's pair this with velocity.
Right.
Yeah, that's
So there
that's
is...
the debris ball. Let's see if you can concur here. We're gonna go back and forth.
Yeah,
You point
and do you
exactly
see if
what I'm
there's
looking at?
anything coming in from emergency management or the National Weather Service chat? Because when we do see those colorations that start to differ from the red, right? We look at when we see those greens, those blues, those are the debris balls, and there could possibly be an indication of not just straight line wind damage, but possibly a tornado. Remember, this tornado warning in effect right now. So really, folks, in the World Golf Village area, we've got that 95 corridor. We've got areas headed toward the beaches, okay? This is south of Durban, south of St. John's. We could possibly have a tornado in this area right now headed toward the east. I mean, it's racing toward the east at about 50 miles an hour. So we want to be away from the windows. We want to be on the lowest level of the
I'll explain to people what
home.
I'm showing them right now too, because we say debris ball, and I want them to understand what I mean by that. Simply put, our radar, fantastic tool, is able to look out, and here it's looking at the winds, the way they're moving to and from the radar. But it also is able to tell us what is water in the atmosphere, what is kind of things that are uniform. And when you get something tossed into the atmosphere that is not uniform, aka branch debris, dust, anything like that, it can show up like this, and it's going to be different than everything else. All these areas in red are that uniform color, and this is showing up a very bright yellow and even a bright white right there just south of World Golf Village, northwest of the outlet malls, crossing over 16 right now.
And yeah, the Weather Service here, Ben Nelson, they're saying
there
that
you go.
that
They
is
just put it
a
up.
tornadic debris signature rapidly approaching World Golf Village area of St. Johns County. So, Robert, if you can do me a favor, I want to actually show our radar, show our velocity map, and let's get street level, because we do have a lot of neighborhoods here. We have elementary schools, we have middle schools, high schools. The worst of it right now in the, let's see, this is off of Passetti Road. We have, again, let's see, Legendary Drive. This is literally World Commerce Parkway. We're talking about International Golf Parkway. We're talking about the Buc-ee's that sits right off of that area. I mean, a very, very heavily traveled spot in town. World Commerce Parkway, World Golf Village Boulevard, Royal Pines Parkway. If any of this sounds familiar and you are listening to us right now, really, you do have to be away from the windows.
So right now I got on the screen, we're on Max 1, right? Yeah, okay, so we got this on the screen. This is our debris ball right here, passing right over Samara Lakes. Now, when I say debris ball, I mean something's getting lofted in the atmosphere here, friends. That is a pretty good indicator there is a tornado, because you couple it with the velocity, which shows inbound and outbound winds. We have very obvious rotation. Yeah, you're going to see this debris ball here on top of that. We're scientists. Our job is to take all these factors, put them together. And, if we were out here at a casino right now, I'm betting everything on this is a tornado on the ground right now here, Lauren.
Right, and so for our producers, for our directors, for those of you who are watching at home, that tornado warning, like Robert said, The initial one is now over because it is 11:45, but there is that new warning that is in effect until 12 o'clock. All right, so another 15 minutes here that we have a tornado warning in effect, and it is for St. Johns County only. This is World Commerce Parkway. This is Registry Boulevard. This is International Golf Parkway. Again, this is the 95 corridor right here, and we're talking about a lot of busy spots for this time of day. It's some very strong pockets of wind. This is actually not even the wind. Remember, like Robert said, this is the correlation coefficient.
Round International Golf Parkway.
Yeah,
live
if we can
cameras,
get
like
any,
511, we can pull up Bucky's area.
So this is mile marker 319. This is off of 95, and we have the potential for a tornado possibly on the ground. All right, a tornado on the ground possibly. We don't have actual confirmed reports. Likely very rain wrapped. The rain is falling very quickly right now, but we have a very clear hook here on this reflectivity. We have our notch in our velocity scan. You can see the inbound and the outbound. Lots of lightning strikes actually that are now mostly moving offshore. So World Golf Village here, possibly even some hail in these storms as well. But I would say the biggest threat right now is that wind damage and the potential for the tornado. So State Road 16, right off of 95. Again, if we want to kind of zoom in and get those street levels, again, I think that's going to help try to nail this down a little bit more. International Golf Parkway, I mean, it is on top of them right now. That's where the worst of the weather is. If we go ahead and look at International Golf Parkway, out even east of 95, that's where it's headed. All right, so if we could maybe storm track, Robert, I think that might do us some good because we know where it is right now. This is moving northeast at 45 miles an hour.
Go out all the way to Volano Beach here.
Yeah, so World Golf Village right now is the most impacted, obviously seeing the strongest of that storm, but I would say by South Ponte Vedra Beach.
You can see that debris
Volano
ball on
Beach.
the frames here coming across, so that's pretty consistent here as well.
This is Palencia Elementary School. I have done school visits out that way, and I'm sure everyone is away from windows inside. It's the lunch hour. So we're keeping the kids safe today.
So National Weather Service, they just updated their warning. It does say this is a observed tornado on the ground. This is no longer radar indicated.
Okay, so
we have something there on the ground confirmed.
Okay.
Observed tornado.
Okay, so just like Robert said, the National Weather Service confirming a tornado is on the ground right now while we track this live. And we're taking this correlation coefficient. It's a fancy way of saying the potential for some debris being lofted in the atmosphere, being detected by radar. And just like we're seeing this, the worst of this, the brightest of the colors approach 95, we have that rain that's falling right now out on this camera. So we might, in fact, see some of the worst weather move right over this camera. This is off of 95 and International Golf Parkway, exactly where Robert and I are speaking about right now. You can see even a little bit of a hook there.
Here.
Yep, and some of these storms today, Robert, have gone up 40,000 feet. Think about that. Right now, it looks like this one's more along the lines of 10, 20,000 feet,
Well,
but still.
what we're also seeing is the debris ball itself is going up about 10,000 feet.
And so what goes up must come down, right? There's a lot of energy, and it's getting all pulled in that updraft of this thunderstorm. Yep, and so International Golf Parkway. I think we should keep that camera up there because it is very helpful to see the rain falling, even if, again, you are in that warning. It goes until noon for St. Johns County, extended all the way to the coast now. So our debris ball is now passing over that 95 corridor.
And we got that live shot up. Do we have the live camera out of International Golf Parkway area? Because I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, the camera angle's been moved as of now. But this is going to be approaching US 1, so another very busy spot to be driving. I know that's a good way to get back and forth from St. John's and St. Augustine. Again, Palencia Elementary School, we just had an update in that scan there, South Ponte Vedra Beach. This is all going to be moving offshore within 10 minutes. So this is a very fast-moving storm. We've got those very strong winds, and again, just unfortunately a really, really busy pocket of town. Okay, we had that massive tornado watch today that was across the entire area, and here we are in central St. Johns County with this tornado warning. So some strong winds, and I would say as it's continued to pull toward the coast, kind of tightening up a little bit, and a lot of times that happens here in our neck of the woods because the friction of the land headed toward the beaches, it's just helping to wrap up those storms. On top of that, think about our winds, right? It's very gusty out there today, but think about how much stronger they are up in the atmosphere. We've got that jet over us, and so we've got increasing winds with height. Not only that, a little bit of directional shear, which is causing the rotation within these storms. We're looking at the boxes again with the 95 and International Golf Parkway. It looks like, again, correct me if I'm wrong, Robert, but it does look like the rain kind of has subsided a little bit. And so that heavy rain came in, likely the strongest of, now it's passing that 95 corridor. You're on cam too, Robert, by the way. We've got that tornado warning, like Robert is showing you, until noon. That's what you're seeing in the red. If you have that First Coast News app, if you downloaded it like I urged you to do on Good Morning Jacksonville today with the weather notifications turned on and your location enabled, and you're in this polygon, you got that right to your phone, right? Those personalized, tailored warnings here. Palencia Village is kind of next in line, wouldn't you say, Robert?
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, so what I'm showing you here is that CC scan. We still have that debris ball. Just to reaffirm, that debris ball is being tracked up to 10,000 feet above ground level. And if you're just joining now, this is a confirmed tornado on the ground, not radar indicated. So yeah, let's go road by road here. We're gonna zoom right in for you, Lauren. And yeah, see the City Water Trail passing just south of International Golf Parkway. And you're right, Palencia, US 1 area, just north of Casacola. These are basically that red light, you know, on US 1 and International Golf Parkway, it always gets backed up right in there. This is where this is gonna be crossing over, is right around that area, it looks like, Lauren.
Yeah, and the camera view is getting changed a little bit every now and then to kind of look at the sky a little bit more. But what you see are those gray clouds. You see the overcast skies, you see the heavy rain, likely rain wrapped if there is anything, right? But again, like Robert said, has been spotted, so we do have a tornado out there somewhere within St. Johns County in this corridor between International Golf Parkway and the Palencia Village area. So this is, again, two very busy pockets of St. Johns County, and it's going to continue to pull toward the east. Looks like it's kind of flattening out a little bit, Robert, as far as maybe the tightening of that rotation. If we give a little zoom out here, it does look like the intensity of it maybe not as bright greens, right, that we were seeing a little bit earlier.
So we're just slowly looping it through here. This was at 11:45, very tight. And you're right. I mean, there is still definitely rotation, but we're not seeing it quite as tight as 5 minutes ago.
And so if we pause it here, you see we like to, not what we like to, but you know, more of a straight line wind event would be kind of that straight line and clear definition between the greens and the reds. But when we start to see them twist within one another, like this little notch right here and right here, that indicates the rotation. The fact that we're saying flattening out is kind of like it might be becoming more of a straight line wind event as it nears the coast, and you know, hopefully that tornado no longer on the ground. Right now, it's just south of Durban, so you can see that correlation coefficient, that debris ball that we've been tracking, is just south of Durban, crossing and along that US 1 corridor here. This is our velocity map again, so the storm motion of the winds inside the cell. I would say the worst of it is now out of World Golf Village, so folks are going to eventually be able to step outside and see what has happened, and we'll of course make sure to pass along any other reports that come in.
Yeah, right now it does look like this is passing just north of the airport, south Ponte Vedra Beach, also starting to get that impact. So we're talking about all the way up along the coast, along A1A here. That's going to be blowing through there, kind of that tight little corridor. The CC scan did show kind of something there, but I don't think it's quite a debris ball.
It looked
like this just north of there.
Right.
Was one. That's
so we're going to be looking at Volano through South Ponte Vedra Beach, and then up through that, you know, beautiful area where we really don't have a whole lot other than the Guana Preserve. So that's where the worst of this storm is going to continue to pull off the coast. That's kind of just a broad look, but there are, again, you know, those houses that are sitting right along the beach that are going to start to really get rocked by some heavy wind and that rain that's going to blow in. You can still see the rain falling pretty decently out along 95. Again, this is International Golf Parkway, where we have where we did see some of the strongest of that rotation, Robert.
Yeah, and right now I'm just kind of zoomed in on the tornado warning itself after it's gone over International Parkway. We do have the velocity, let's clear this out, right there. So I think that's what we're still looking at for any rotation. It's right in here. So just past like the International Golf Parkway exit, starting to head off. I'm going to zoom right in here for you guys so we get a real good look. So yeah, it's that kind of intersection right there, International Golf Parkway, US 1. Once it crosses east of there, it's going to head across the preserve there and start to move kind of more so out here to A1A, South Ponte Vedra Beach. But right now, we're starting to see this kind of cross. Still a lot of people in this area right along US 1 where the conditions are going to be going downhill really quickly for you. And I want to show you this real quick is that it does look like it's actually a little bit clear on radar just ahead of it. I'm going to try to pull this up. Right here we go.
Coast News Weather Watchers. I mean, I've got it right on my phone here. You all know that I love my Weather Watchers. So does Robert. And I don't have any reports coming in officially as of yet, other than some folks out in Fernandina who were rocked, about an hour or so ago. But the worst, really, remember, once it comes in, the worst of the weather arrives, and then it's out of there pretty quickly. So World Golf Village starting to look up right now. I would say, still watching the rest of the area in St. Johns County that has that tornado warning until noon, but it's not going to last all that long, all right? Looking and zooming in, we're giving a bigger picture right now. There are some severe thunderstorm warnings to the south.
I just did want to let people know that if you are outside of this immediate tornado warning, all the way down to Marion County, a new severe thunderstorm warning was just issued there. Also, if you're getting the rain on the backside of this, we still got a lot of lightning across parts of Duval, Clay, St. Johns County. Just giving everybody a really quick look at the bigger picture and where we're at right now with this tornado warning. And then we are zooming right on in. Now we're talking about St. Johns County, east of International Golf Parkway, talking about Palencia Village, out towards South Ponte Vedra Beach. So it's that stretch right in there.
And no official damage reports as of yet. So these tornado warning tags, and that's something the Weather Service does, is they have levels of the tornado warnings, and this one had a considerable tag today because it was actually reported on the ground. We indicated it on radar initially, reported on the ground out in St. Johns County, but it does have that considerable tag. So
I'm just going to loop back to 30 minutes for this debris scan, and I want everybody to kind of look right in here.
I'll point it out.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, right here.
So
that's
now
when you started noticing it.
We're just tracking that debris ball.
And it got a little larger.
And then it starts to fade right in there.
And so as far as debris goes today with these storms, we were talking about the potential for, some roof damage, some fence damage, some trees that could be down, some power outages possible. Earlier, we did have some power outages reported in Nassau County. We did get a report from that emergency manager just a little bit ago, actually, saying that Buccaneer Trail now reopened after they had power line down in that area. So that's some good news for my Nassau County
also,
pals.
just some things I overheard out here. The Clay County Fair has also been delayed.
Okay.
Well, Jack's River Jams also was delayed, right? Somebody just want to give me a shout?
Jack's River Jams fair.
Till 5:30.
Okay, and that's not delaying it a whole lot, right? We showed that Jack's River Jams forecast this morning, and things are clear as we head